parody a song for you. You tell it what you want, what song you choose, and it'll parody it, but nothing that will allow you to like edit lyrics and then put it to the song's musical background.
So you want to use your own lyrics, though, huh?
What's up?
You want to use your own lyrics, not have an AI generate the lyrics for you?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I already wrote out the whole song with, the new parodized version. Solid.
Halfway there. Just waiting on one more thing.
5 minutes ago.
Fuck. All right, well, now it's like I had half the items open before I restarted the computer, and now I'm like reopening them, and it's realizing, oh, you previously closed out of this. Let's open it up 2 times.
Sounds like we should just reschedule for tomorrow.
Give me 1 more minute. It'll go fast tonight because some people don't want to be original.
So
Are you talking
David,
about
it looks
me?
like... Huh?
Are you talking about me?
Not just you, if it makes you feel any better.
I didn't copy no one.
Hey,
Except for
David, so
yourself.
the closest thing you can get for AI doing what you want would be Google's Magenta Studio. It uses AI to generate a harmonized melody based on an input pattern. You create an instrumental track and add your lyrics. So if you can get an instrumental song and then add your lyrics in, it might be able to create what you're looking for.
Magenta Studio?
Magenta Studio. Google's Magenta Studio.
Solid. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
They just released that like 2 days ago, didn't they?
Surprisingly, ChatGPT knows about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's because ChatGPT has been doing like the 12 days of Christmas of like new features and products. And so they just released this like music and video creation thing. And then Google released theirs. And Google's is better. Is the consensus. All right. We're recording. It looks like I'm up and running. So hey, I'm excited to share and welcome you all to the Investment Competition Podcast Trial by Fire, week 32. I'm going to take a quick second and explain that I've started a competition with some members of my family where the general concept can be summed up as a fantasy football for stocks. Each week, we each pick a new stock and add it to our respective portfolios and talk about it as though we have bought $100 worth of the chosen stock and discuss it. The participant with the lowest overall performance and weakest portfolio at the end of the 52-week-long competition agrees to walk through fire or on top of hot coals, provided I can figure out how to do it safely. Full disclosure, we do not know what we are doing. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes and to document our competition. Again, this is for learning. And yeah, I think we're good to go with the disclosure.
Yeah, I have an observation that I'm just seeing for the first time. In your little investment competition podcast trial by fire thing you have here for episode 32, the little circle that's got the fire on it, I just today realized that there's 2 legs in there and that somebody walking on hot coals. I honestly thought those 2 legs were smokestack, like it was just smoke. I never once realized that that was an actual like walking on hot coal. Like that's crazy.
So like it's not even a person or two legs walking on coals. It's more like the soles of shoes are on fire, and when he
Yeah.
takes a step, it leaves like a shoe print of fire. So he's not
Oh,
like walking on top of hot coals. He's just walking on top of fire.
oh, so you ripped this off from Ghost Rider? Is that what this is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't
Okay.
your wife the one that created it?
Nope.
Not this one.
That's funny.
Oh.
I can't believe
Alrighty.
you're not realizing that.
Hmm?
Dude, I thought it was the coolest graphic little design I've ever seen before. You know, and like you're just now after 30 weeks taking the time to like, oh, okay, cool.
I legit just thought it was like hot coals and fire and like black smoke. I never even realized it was somebody's feet and legs.
That kind of
Wow.
hurts. All right, well, um, since you know, we're talking about hurting me, I'm gonna share that I have dropped all the way down to 5th place with an overall portfolio value of $3,283.53. In my portfolio this week, um, I knew this week was going to be rough because I have a watch list of way too many stocks and I have price alerts for like most of those stocks in my watch list and price alerts for stocks that are also not in my watch list. And my phone was blowing up with notifications this week. They're like, this is below your price alert. This is below your price alert. So, like, I knew this week was going to be rough. And most notably for me, my biggest drop had to come from the Scholastic Corporation. If you guys can see on your screens, it's been in red most of this competition, which has hurt. I've kind of had this feeling that you know it's gonna be my worst performer. Wasn't quite sure. And it was like down $30 last week, and now this week it's down like $45. They had an earnings report this past week. They missed all analyst expectations. They missed their own expectations. They lowered guidance for the next quarter moving in. So I mean, their stock dropped a lot. It's now trading at again. I got in at like $34.85. It's now trading at $20 a share. So like I'm down real money on that one. So that one like doubly hurts. I still really like I have what is it? Not just nostalgia, but I have like a certain fondness for the company, you know? So it hurts a little bit. But other than that, you know, we got some other ones that are kind of, you know, 15% in the red. Some of these ones right here are kind of minorly in the red, not even 10%. So I mean, yeah. This week though, I've decided to go with Schneider National, which is a transportation and logistics service company based out of Wisconsin. So if you guys are driving in Wisconsin, in the Midwest, or in any of the states that they, you know, deliver goods to, they have a very recognizable orange semi truck trailer with like black letters. So the company operates through three primary segments. They have truckload, which it provides standard and specialty equipment freight transportation with company employed drivers and owner operators. They have an intermodal, which offers door to door container services, combining rail and over the road transportation in partnership with rail carriers. And then they have a logistics, which includes like non-asset freight brokerage, and like supply chain services and import and export services. So this past week, if you can see their 1 year chart, this past week they've been down as well with the rest of the market. This was one of the ones that my price alerts went off on. They dipped well below $30, and I decided to go with Schneider just because one, yeah, again, it hit a price alert. They still have a positive EPS and PE ratio. They pay a dividend of like 9 cents a quarter, so I'll be getting paid in like April. I just missed their January dividend. But not a big deal. They'll be paying me a dividend in April. And then I chose this because like, I don't know, I live in Wisconsin. This is a Wisconsin company. And like weird things are going to be happening in the import and export world. So either this company is going to sink or swim.
Hopefully sink.
Okay, I'm in 5th place.
And
Just kick me
Solid
while
choice.
I'm down. Kick me while I am down.
okay.
So you're excited to get a whole 34 cents in April, right before the competition ends in May, huh?
Yep.
Wow, decent.
Yeah.
I did want to point out that so I know you're not keeping track, John, and I understand why. I get that. Your portfolio.
Hold up. Last week my portfolio value was here. I'll put up my current portfolio value, which is $3,283.53. Last week my portfolio value was $3,279.28. So my overall portfolio has increased by $4 and some change.
Yes, but no, because you invested another $100. It should be at 33 because you invested $100. So your portfolio is down $95, even with a new investment.
Yes, but no, because this is week 32, so
Yeah.
my portfolio should be $3,200, but I've had a return on investment. I'm in the green by $83 off of a $3,200 investment.
And you were in the green $179 is what I'm saying.
That was last week. This is this week.
Just wanted to point it out. That's all. So comments on your current pick. I don't hate it. Their balance sheet looks decent. They don't have too much debt or anything. They got plenty of property that they own. Cash looks good. It does look like their revenue is down compared to 2022. So we'll see what the new administration here in 25 does for them in the new year here. But I mean, I think it's a decent pick. It's solid.
Yeah. Let me see. They currently employ like 17,000 and some change individuals. Their biggest competitors are Werner Trucking and JB Hunt Trucking, which are also publicly traded companies. You could also make an argument that like UPS is a competitor of theirs, or FedEx, or some other weird companies all doing with like transportation and stuff. But JB Hunt and Werner were their closest like direct competitors, with not too dissimilar EPS and PE ratios. So yeah.
Anybody else have any comments?
No, I think it's a solid choice.
I hope they go bankrupt.
Oh, okay. They're not going to.
They're not going to. They're not Swift. They're fine.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't come across Swift in my research. It's weird. Okay. Yep. That's what I got. Next, we have a dramatic change where Jacob has jumped up to second place with an overall portfolio value of $3,553.86, which for those at home, I'm sorry, let me drop that. Last week, his portfolio was at $3,187.85. So we're talking about a little more than a $400 increase in his overall portfolio. And you might think that that's spectacular or something. I don't think so. Mostly because all of his stocks for the large part decreased except for one.
Only need one
Don't say
winner.
that.
Only need one winner right now. That's what's carrying me. I like it. You're accurate. My big winner at the moment is quantum computing. They experienced some exponential growth in the last week. Their value last week was sitting at $237. I'm sorry, my investment last week was sitting at $237. So I was already in the positive with them. Super happy with that performance. But then they jumped, and now my value with them is at $624.11. Mine's different, but that's fine. Yeah, exponential growth. I love to see it. I experienced the same thing John did, though, where a lot of my stocks were down a little bit. I'm not really concerned because they're going to come back to their benchmarks, and it'll be steady. I have no problem with that. I think quantum computing is going to explode, as we've seen with the other person that has invested in another quantum computing company. They also have a pretty decent gain on their investment for that company. I think quantum computing is taking a leap forward, and I'm on board for that one. My only regret at this point is that quantum computing was not one that I invested in on a real money week. What week was that? It was last week. No, what was it?
No,
Shoot.
week 27. A
me
little
zoom
more
up.
than a month ago.
You're right. Week
Bye.
27, which was 1 week before I put real money into Open Door. And Open Door is down a little bit, but if those two had been switched and my real $100 had become $624, I would be a happy man. I'd be a very happy man. But it's not what happened. That's all right. It's fine. It's no problem. We're good. It's putting me in second place, and I'm not disappointed.
Okay.
On
And
to
what
my
would you like to share about this week's pick?
So this week's pick, I did minimal research, unfortunately. But I still follow my trusted method of going to the penny stock list and looking for one that had some high trading volume and had been on there that I hadn't seen before. And Seals Q is, I don't even know how to say it. I don't know much about the company specifically. I do know, where did my little thing go here? Hang on. So Seals Q Corp, together with its subsidiaries, develops, designs, and markets semiconductor chips. That is a hot commodity nowadays in the new world here because of, I don't know, like quantum computing or something. That, and we also just live in a digital world here in the US, and everything that we have and own needs a super chip in it. Your smartwatch, your phone, your computer, your car, everything has these chips in them, and it's super important that we can diversify the locations that we're getting these chips from, and not all just from Taiwan. So I was excited that this company is working mostly in Europe, Middle East, Africa, North America, and Asia Pacific. And I kind of broke one of my rules because this is not a US based company. But I feel like it's still serving US interest because it's got the Americas as part of its business plan here, and it's not just a country that might get taken over in the near future. Who knows? But yeah, I think they're a decent company.
Hey, that's how America justifies their bad trade deals.
What do you mean?
It's American enough.
I'm confused. Who do we trade with that's American enough? That's a bad trade deal.
On to the next.
Hey, this isn't the first non-American company that you've invested in, right?
I've only broken this rule, I think, twice now. I think there's only two companies of mine that are non-US based. Well, the first one I believe was Wolters Kluwer, and the second one is this one. The other exception might be Canada, but I'm pretty sure they have a headquarters in the US, if I remember correctly. So,
Like,
what?
sorry, I was talking to my mom.
Oh, hi, Faith's mom.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. Anyway, so I looked at their balance sheet and their total debt. Now I got to go back to that page. Their total debt is sitting at. Make sure I'm on the right thing here. $19 million, and their total current cash and cash equivalents is at $18 million, which $1 million can be made up in their, I don't know, inventory, because that's at $2.7 million. They have property worth $4.1 million. Their balance sheet's in good shape. Kind of like John Spick's Schneider, their balance sheet's in pretty good shape. No complaints here. They're a thriving company. They are handling their finances well. Their revenue is, let's see, comparative to 2022, it's decent. They had a spike in 23, and they're down compared to 23, but they're still up in comparison to the last 4 years of their revenue. So I think it's a decent investment, and hopefully with the new administration coming in with new trade deals and new priorities, especially with diversifying some of our most needed resources, such as semiconductors and pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, I think that this is a company that could see a boom in the new administration. So.
Okay.
That's what I got.
All right. So here's the 1 year chart, and like talking about exponential growth and everything like that, which is interesting. So do you have any reason or any guesses on like why it jumped like that?
I do not.
Okay. So I mean the couple of news articles that I'm seeing right here is like it had an increase of price to sales, which is a metric I'm not familiar with. But they're saying like the increase in price to sales does not justify the stock price jump.
Okay.
And that most analyst targets right now, or at least according to Yahoo Finance, is at the $1.75 range. So, I mean, you could lose 30 to 50% on the stock if financial analysts on Wall Street are more correct than you.
When I jumped on the bandwagon, my purchase price was.
Oh, that's a good point. What was
50 cents on it. You're right. I don't think it's going to drop to that $1.75. So if you look at some of those analysis and when they came in, that $1.75 projection was actually made in in September of 2024. And if you look at their list there, in September of 24, they were trading at 37 cents a share. So analysts saw something that was coming for this company months in advance, and it hit in December, which is why we're looking at this price of $2.75. So back in September, they projected, oh, this is on its way up. This has some change coming. It's going to hit high. You know, $1.75 compared to 37 cents. That's a huge gain, and they weren't wrong. They were only wrong because it went higher than that $1.75 mark, and it's still on its way up. When I jumped on at $2.25, I'm already up 50 cents because now it's at $2.75. And I have a, what is it, $20 gain on it currently already. So I'm already up. Let me go to because this was a real money week. So this is bigger for me. I'm already up 21.8% just on the mark that I purchased at and where it's at currently. I don't think it's going to see a big drop. I think it's going to be consistent and either stay where it's at or it's going to go even higher. So.
okay. I hope you're right. It's a real money week. I don't kick people when they're down.
I feel like that was a dig at somebody.
I don't know.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that one.
You know, year to date, it's up 135%. Back in June 2023, though, it was at like $17. So interesting.
Yeah.
PE ratio isn't horrific, so
And I mean,
nice.
this is a newer company too because it didn't IPO until May of 23. So they had their initial stock price was $14. It bumped up to 17, like Michael said, and then it kind of steadily fell over the next couple of months, and then it maintained at about $1 for a while. Then it dipped below $1, and now it's jumped back up to $2. I think it's on its way back up to that $10 mark, especially with the new administration and the new priorities for semiconductors.
But is the priority in Switzerland companies?
I feel like Switzerland's a better bet than Taiwan.
That's an interesting thesis.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Speaking
Hey,
of interesting. Oh, wait, Mike, what do you got?
it says 6 days ago, NASDAQ surges over 100 points. Manufacturing index dips in December. But like 2 days ago, it says Seals Q post quantum cryptographic chips deployed on WiseSat satellites. So that's pretty cool.
Like I said, quantum computing and these semiconductor chips and everything, it's a huge that they're connected.
Yeah, but if they're putting them in fucking satellites, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No problem.
All right, well, speaking of interesting,
it is currently today, December 22nd, 2024. And in just over a month, you're going to be getting your W-2s and 1099s and 1099Ks. And those ones I think are specifically interesting because 1099Ks are going to be coming from somewhere you're not expecting. The threshold limit has been reduced to, I believe, $5,000. No, yeah, $5,000 for this year, I believe. I feel like I'm misremembering. But that's going to be coming from your Venmo transactions and your PayPal transactions and your Cash App transactions. And it's going to be something that a lot of small businesses have to deal with because they already have, being a small business, you track your revenue. You know when you're making a sale and you keep record of it. And with those records, you then put your profit and loss together and you submit it for your taxes. But then all of a sudden you have a wrench thrown at you because some of your customers paid you on Venmo, some of them paid you on Zelle, some of them paid you on Cash App. And so you have all these extra documents that are reporting income that is already accounted for. Having a tax professional in your corner to actually explain to the IRS where this income is coming from and that you don't get double taxed on this income because you can have multiple forms reporting the same income now because of this new rule coming down. And that threshold is moving down in the future to $600. So it's going to start affecting everyday Americans as well. You're not going to know what to do because it's kind of complicated on a few different tax forms on where you're supposed to put those numbers and exactly how you explain to the IRS what those transactions are. So I wouldn't trust going on to TurboTax or trying to do it yourself when you start getting these double income forms because you're going to pay double taxes or you're going to make a mistake and the IRS is going to audit you and charge you penalties and interest. Farness Tax Prep is a company that is in your corner to get those documents sorted out and explain to the IRS in the best way possible for your tax situation to keep you compliant and on the right track. So contact farnesstaxprep.com or visit farnesstaxprep.com and contact me and I'll give you a hand.
all right. Interesting.
That was 100% off the top of my head. I had nothing prepared for that. So,
All right, do we still have David on the line?
He is offline. We don't know when he'll come back on.
Okay. Well, if he comes back online, we can go more in depth, but just to let you guys know, he dropped down to 4th place. Last week he was in 3rd. His did a similar portfolio thing. He's only up a few dollars after $100 investment. He chose Verizon this week. I'll give him an opportunity to talk about Verizon. There was some catalyst news that made Verizon jump. and it may jump more on Monday, but we're going to go right over to Faith, who's in first place with an overall portfolio value of $3,981.59.
Hello.
Hi, Faith. What would you like to share with us this week? What are your insider tradings?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at any of my stuff lately. Let's see.
That's not good.
I don't stay on top of it like you do. I pick it and then it's like, what can I do? Not pick it again? So, oh, can you see me?
Yes. Oh,
Hello?
not anymore.
We
Hello.
cannot see you.
Okay, I'm jumping back on. I'm sorry.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Yep, don't really have much to say. Some of my stuff dropped quite a bit this week. That's not fun, but I think a lot of that's gonna come back, like my Rockwell, my Viper, stuff like that. I think that's just gonna come back. Rigetti, my first time up quite a bit. I'm a little sad with my Super Micro. I really thought I got it at its low point, but oh well. We'll see. We're playing the long game with that one. MicroStrategies. I think that's one that I'll eventually make my money back on, but it's not bad right now. But I decided to rebuy into Rigetti just because it is doing well. I had originally bought into it at a higher price this week. Then I saw that it was dropping, so I sold my shares and then rebought in at a lower price. I took a couple dollars loss doing that, but it's okay. They're gonna make it back. I just wanted that couple extra dollars later. Yep. Just rebought in because they're already doing well, and I think they're gonna continue to do well.
Okay.
So this is what I referenced when I was talking about my quantum computing. You're the other person that this company is a company that's into quantum computing as well, and they're also seeing the boom that quantum computing is seeing. So yeah, I think
they better
this
keep
one
doing
and
it.
mine, I think they're doing really well, and I think they continue to do really well.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not as well as Qubit.
No,
I wasn't gonna rub it in her
but
face.
remember, if you remember what I said last week, I said I wanted to buy quantum computing, but I didn't want to copy Jacob. So I'll take my happiness with Rigetti.
Okay.
But I did have a question, because I don't really pay attention to Super Micro. Did they do a stock split or something?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. When I looked it up, I thought for some reason I bought it and it was like worth like 300 something, and then when I looked at it, it was like 34. And I think I'm just dumb, but it's okay.
So let me see. You first bought it in week 29 at a share price of $2.95.
October they had a stock split.
I'm not talking
Huh?
about Rigetti. I asked about Super Micro.
Oh, if Super Micro had a stock split?
So
Yeah.
in October, Super Micro had a forward stock split.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but not since you've invested in it for podcast purposes.
The second time. First time it did.
Wait, did you say Super Micro, or are you talking about your...
Super Micro. I brought into that like in like week 2 as well, didn't I?
Okay,
Yeah, you
okay, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I got confused between your Super Micro computer and your last week pick of MicroStrategy. So
I'm aware.
MicroStrategy has
You made
not
me
gone through a
confused.
stock. Yeah. But
I think
Super
that's where
Micro,
I got confused.
yeah, I'm so sorry. Some of these company names are too similar, and I apologize. I get confused easily.
It's okay. I forgive you.
John, did you
I
handle the
do.
split that happened for her first round?
Super Micro did go through a stock split, yes. Because her original purchase price was $883, and then they did a stock split after she was already down like 50%, and she ended up, now she's a proud owner of a whole share, and that is still currently down money. But yes, Supermicro Computer is now trading down after after a stock split.
I will say that I don't like that a lot of Jacobs are like in the red, and I know they're gonna recover because I'm afraid I won't be in first anymore.
We'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
You won't come to it. I gotta be optimistic.
Okay.
I want to take the first.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it was a dumb question. It's fine.
It's not a dumb question. It's hard keeping track of this. I'm only keeping track of like 134 different stocks right now.
That's why I keep picking a new one every week to add to that number.
Me too.
I like
Yeah.
rebuying in. I have to do less research.
All right. And then we have Mike, who dropped from second place down to third place with an overall portfolio value of $3,452.06.
It was bound
Mike,
to happen. It was
dropping
bound to
down
happen.
to third?
You've been in second place for hell a long time, though. So
Well, I was in first place for a while too.
I don't
don't
Not
remember.
like 16 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been in first for over half of this podcast.
You know, if I didn't keep making mistakes like I do now, like I did on this stock choice, I'd be all right, you know, but oh man, look at that. New scale power. Humana is doing all right. I love getting you guys at that one. Devin should be picking up this new year. Tesla's still just cranking. Man, my Super Micro is still sitting all right. Yeah, not bad.
So you said your pick this week was a mistake?
Yeah.
Why is that?
The metrics around it aren't like horrific. But it's one of those companies that, you know, it's gonna be bad in a couple months, you know.
why do you think
There's
that?
gonna be lawsuits and all sorts of stuff.
What do they do?
Well, it is a company called Merrick and Company, and they produce medical stuff. They're a pharmaceutical company, multinational pharmaceutical company, headquartered in New Jersey. Isn't that
Okay.
pretty interesting? They do a shit ton of stuff. Everything from cancer immunotherapy to vaccines for HPV and chickenpox. Back in like '43, they what was it? They came up with streptomycin. What is streptomycin? Treats tuberculosis. There we go. And they've come up with a couple of cool things over the years. You know, stuff for like smallpox and mumps and rubella vaccine. You know, and they just keep pumping it out. You know, yeah, so, some good and some bad, but you know, it's a pharmaceutical company. You know, but they make money. So yeah, and Jacob's gonna tell me that this is horrible, and that their balance sheets don't line up, Mike. But Yeah, it's I didn't think its metrics were sitting too shabby. So I bet.
So why do you think I'm going to be critical? That's not kind.
Well, where I look at only a few metrics and the basic overall of the company, you tend to dig a little bit deeper than I do.
So they have $38.1 billion in total debt, and they have $14.5 billion in cash. They have $6.2 billion in inventory, and they have $23.4 billion in property. That gives them a net positive of $6 billion.
Well, look at that.
So their balance sheet isn't in great shape, but in comparison to them being in the billion-dollar mark, they seem all right. I mean, my only concern with this would be, how does it stack up with the new administration? With RFK coming into the Department of Health, he's going to be making a huge amount of advisory changes and stuff, I feel like, in regard.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Vaccines and pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. One thing that when I saw this, I can't help, it says right on the little thing there that you're showing for everybody that they're in the where did I see that? Following segments: pharmaceutical, animal health, and other. So it seems like they produce, medications for not just humans, and a lot of
Right.
pharmaceutical companies that get on just the human chain end up being overselling and overzealous on what is actually human. But the fact that they're actually in the animal market as well, people are much more protective of their animals, like their horses and what have you. And those medications aren't usually oversold; they're actually fairly needed and used properly. I feel like this company wouldn't be on the list of crappy pharmaceutical companies. And just to kind of, justify me saying that, so in the last 5 years, we saw the COVID happen, right? And pharmaceutical companies and all the, they made a crap ton of money because of COVID. When I look at this list in 2020 for this company, they didn't see record, stock market value, or in 2021 or in 2022, up until May of 22 was when they started to kind of come up on the rise. And then at the end of 22 into 23, they're up. And now in 24, they're up. I mean, I feel like this is one of the companies that wasn't profiting off of COVID. And I feel like the companies that profited on COVID are the companies that are going to be on the shit list when the new administration comes in. So that's just my opinion. I don't have anything to back that up. But I feel like this is one of the pharmaceutical companies that might be on the better track than compared to some of the other ones.
Well, two things here. For June 2020, Merck acquired Themis Bioscience, a company focused on vaccines and immunomodulation therapies for infectious diseases, including COVID-19 and cancer. Well, that's I'm not going too far on that one. The other one was also in June 2020. Merck Animal Health acquired Quantified AG, a data and analytics company that monitors cattle body temperature and movement in order to detect illness early. I don't know if you've seen some of these like super fancy farmers that have these like auto milkers and stuff, but I mean, if they're really focused on the health of their herd, they'd be interested in something like that. So I found that really interesting.
All right. In other interesting news, they also just closed an exclusive global license agreement for a novel investigational bispecific antibody from Lenovo Medicines. So they're paying hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to manufacture and market this antibody, but they're expecting a lot of money back from this antibiotic too. And that article is from Tip Ranks, written yesterday morning, Saturday, December 21st. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
So
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know if antibodies are considered vaccines that, RFK Jr. has a vendetta against or anything, but there's that. Also, this company is 79% owned by institutions, including 9.8% by Vanguard and 8.4% by BlackRock.
okay,
So,
interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's not a
and
horrific choice, but it's fairly decent. You know, they're fairly grounded, but yeah. Oh, they do
we'll
contact lenses too.
we'll see. We'll see. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, this is their 1 year stock chart. They're
Uh,
down 9% this year, 8.5% this year.
so I mean, you guys know I like to buy on a low.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping for a bull.
yeah, that's what Jacob's thing is, buying on a discount.
Yeah.
All right, is David back at all?
Nope.
Okay. Well, if David's not back at all, we're gonna review everyone's stock bets, and I'll just share the catalyst news about Verizon. That I found. So I chose Schneider National, which is a Wisconsin-based transportation company, trucking company. Jacob chose Seal SQ Corp, Seal Square Corp. I don't know. Something about quantum computing and microchips and processors and stuff. David chose Verizon, which is a telecommunications company. Maybe you guys are familiar with it. They just partnered with NVIDIA. They
Wow.
was it NVIDIA? Oh shit, no, I'm messing up. They just had some type of partnership where they're getting invested in
Yeah.
by someone that has to do with these, quantum computing and super microchips and stuff like
So,
that.
hey
Um,
John,
yeah,
straight from the headlines, Verizon Communications Inc. and NVIDIA unveil AI-powered solutions with 5G private networks and MEC for enterprise clients.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm kind of critical of this. I haven't been alive long, but I'm starting to learn about like what the dot-com bubble was, right? Internet came around and then suddenly any company that created a website was considered an internet company and it ballooned a whole bunch of the stock prices, right? I feel like this is the signs that like there's a little bit of like a um AI bubble, a super micro processing bubble here, where any company that gets a chatbot that claims it's powered by AI sees a spike in price share. So that's my criticism for David, and I was hoping to get him on here to see how he'd respond or if he even knew about the partnership with NVIDIA.
He did.
But I'd be cautious just because of like some history lessons here. Speaking of computer stuff I don't understand. Faith chose to double down in quantum computing with Rigetti Computing, and Mike chose a pharmaceutical company, Merck and Co.
Drugs.
Drugs. Michael chose drugs,
Yes.
but not Ozempic. We'd know. All right, I'm grabbing a piece of. One second.
That's weird. Rigatti's little 1 year chart and the oh, what's mine called? Sale queue. The chart looks like eerily similar on their rise at the end there.
Okay.
It's that bubble John was talking about.
No, okay. So like Google
they're
was a
connected because
part
they're
of
both
like
connected.
internet companies during the .com bubble, but they were actually like an internet company. They weren't just a company that added a website. Like Jacob's, processing company and Faith's quantum computing company are actual like products and manufacturers of these products versus like Verizon partnering with Nvidia. Nvidia manufactures microchips and stuff like that, but like Verizon isn't an AI company and they're not a super micro processing company. Um, Verizon feels very bubbly, They're just a barbershop with a website. All right. So I'm gonna be a fan. I'm gonna be a fan of Michael because of the Tip Ranks article from yesterday morning. I think he's gonna see a 1 week boost here. And I'm gonna be a hater of David. Jake, what do you got?
I am going to be a fan of Faith just because of the quantum computing. And I will be a hater of John with his Schneider National. I think that it's going to go up and down, and he's probably going to hit it down on this one. So,
Okay. I'd ask David who's he's a fan and hater of at this point, but he's not here. So Faith, who are you a fan of? Who are you a hater of?
I am a fan of Jacob.
yeah, you are.
Fuck off. I am a hater of.
Michael.
Listen, I can't do that every week.
Yeah, you can.
I'm torn between Jacob. I'm torn between John and Michael.
Quick decision.
Jacob, who should I hate on?
I'm not choosing for you. Nope.
Jacob is hating on John if you weren't paying attention.
I've never paid attention.
I know, that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll hate on you this week.
All right, cool. Mike, who are you a fan of?
You're getting a break, Mike. Don't take it for granted.
Well, I guess I can't hate on Faith now. No, man, I really don't know who to hate on.
Yourself. It's okay.
Who hasn't been hated on?
Who hasn't? Everyone hasn't been hated on except for John and David.
Oh.
Why do you talk about yourself in third person?
Michael, you should hate.
Who should he hate on?
Michael should hate on himself because he thinks his company is going to get sued out of existence.
No, I'm sure they have other companies to take the fall, just like every other medical company. You know, I can't hate on John. I can't hate on John. I'll hate on Jacob.
Dude, stop making it personal. Stop hating the person and start hating the picks.
No, I'm looking at the picks and I can't hate on the truckers, okay? Oh shit, that's personal. And I'm gonna like myself.
Who are you hating on?
Jake.
So you like yourself and you're hating Jacob.
Yes.
Good for you.
Okay. All right. It's pretty neat.
Because I think Verizon is gonna do a little bit better.
Okay. Well, last week, let me see here. Who was? Oh, let me see. Jacob had some fans of David and Faith, so shout out to David and Faith. And then Faith walked away with no haters, which is a shame because Faith is this week's loser.
Yay.
Oh,
What you got there?
Tequila.
Do you want to wait to get highlighted? Don't do it yet. Just wait. John's gonna highlight you.
Don't
I
want
haven't figured. I haven't
There
figured
you
out
go.
how to
We're
highlight
all
people.
negative except for Jacob.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not. Why is it not letting me highlight her?
I'm highlighted. I can see.
Ah!
Oh, okay, cool. That did work. Okay.
She's highlighted twice now.
All
Is that
right, Faith. This is not to encourage the abuse of alcohol, but to get rid of those weaker brain cells. Is this 2 weeks in a row for you?
Yeah.
2 or 3?
I'm gonna invest in limes next.
Well, it's better than investing in lemons because lemons are a man-made creation.
What?
Life never gave us lemons. Lemons are not naturally occurring. They're genetically created by humans.
I don't know if I believe you, but can you unhighlight me? This is weird.
Yeah, I can see that. Huge.
I would love to, but honestly, I don't know how.
Fuck you.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate you. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got for tonight.
And David's still not back, eh?
I
No.
don't think so.
He said that they have a turnover, so he wouldn't be back.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
Uh-oh.
that?
What is that?
Is that a sale?
It does look like a sale. I don't know if you can see when we go to the screen, like the yellow letters pop up. It's on sale now on Amazon.
Just
Wait,
in
but that
time
also
for the
says
holiday.
Friday, July 12th.
Yeah. Free delivery.
Fastest delivery.
Delivery.
Next year, 2025. Pretty much when you're going to see this.
Basically.
And this is why that doesn't make it into the podcast.
Don't cut it. Come on, keep it in. Keep it in.
Yes. Come
All
on.
right. All right. Well, I appreciate you all. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you again for being here. Yeah. We'll see you next
Hey.
week.
Before everyone hops off, who is going to